King Charles is getting a lot of flack these days. Why? Because he appointed Dr. Michael Dixon as head of the Royal Medical Household. Why is this an issue? Because Dr. Dixon is into all kinds of alternative therapies, including homeopathy. Now let's get one thing straight. Homeopathy is not an umbrella term for all kinds of alternative medicine. It is a very specific modality that was devised over 200 years ago by Samuel Hahnemann, a German physician, who was distraught about the things that he had learned in medical school those days that he didn't think worked. How to purge patients, how to use bloodletting. He thought there had to be a simpler, kinder format. So he knew that there was one treatment effective for malaria, which was an extract of the bark of a tree that grew in Peru, so-called Peruvian bark. Today we know it contains quinine. But he didn't know how much to give to his patients, so he became his own guinea pig. He started to take increasing amounts to see what a safe dose was, and he developed a fever, just like he saw in his malaria patients. And at that moment, the idea of homeopathy, that like cures like, was born. He thought that a substance that in a healthy person causes symptoms will cure those symptoms in a sick person. Totally illogical. And also because he had been giving smaller doses than what he had taken to his patients, he concluded that the smaller the dose, the better it is for therapy in sick people. Again, totally illogical. Now let me give you an idea of how homeopathy works, this idea that the smaller the dose, the more potent it is. One of the classic homeopathic remedies is oscillococcinum for the treatment of the flu. What do? They take the liver of a duck. I will leave his liver right where it is, but let's pretend I took it out and I put it in here and made an extract of it. I colored it so that we can follow along. All right, so we have the liver of an extract, or the extract of a liver, I should say. All right, so we'll take about 1 milliliter of that and add 100 milliliters of water. That is a 1-fold dilution. Then I'll take 1 milliliter of this, add 100 milliliters of water. That's a 2-fold dilution. You can see that already the color has disappeared. Take 1 milliliter, put it in here, add 100 milliliters of water. 3-fold dilution. Take 1 milliliter here, 4-fold dilution. Imagine doing this 200 times. Well, by the time I get to a 12-fold dilution, there's not a single molecule of the original left, never mind 200-fold dilution. And yet, that is what we have here. If we look on the label, this little bottle of homeopathic pills, it shows you 200C. It means 200-fold dilution. There's absolutely nothing left in there. So homeopathy is scientifically implausible. It cannot work. And yet, there are all kinds of homeopathic remedies out there, including absurdities such as this. Homeopathic X-ray for skin irritation. How do they come to this conclusion? Because X-rays in high doses can irritate the skin. So a small dose of X-ray should be therapeutic for skin irritation. How on earth does one dilute an X-ray? Total nonsense. So we in the world of science, of course, have a problem with homeopathy. But the homeopaths will say, look, but I have this study here that shows that it works. You do enough studies, just by random chance alone, some of them will work. But that's not how science works. Science works by looking at all of the studies and coming to a conclusion. And based on all of the studies, homeopathy just doesn't work. It cannot work. It is scientifically implausible. And King Charles is, I think, receiving the flack that he deserves for championing homeopathy.